Fellas, ladies, you looking for lotions? You looking for beard oils? But unfortunately, everything you get from mainstream got chemicals in it and they're probably killing you? No problem, we got you. Go check out my people from Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. That's Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. www.top2bottom, BOTTU, the U is for unique, M.com. Tell them I sent you.
Hey, what's up, y'all? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Welcome to Firearms Friday. Hopefully, y'all having a blessed, wonderful day. Hopefully, all is well, and hopefully, God is good in your life. Um, and also, make sure y'all taking advantage of that OG Network promo code. That's OG Network 26. OG Network 26, so you can get 15% off all your purchase of top to bottom hair and skincare products if you spend $35 or more. And, and if you're not sure where to find the store, just go to the link on the channel, and it'll take you right there to the website, and you'll be able to go in and check out all the wonderful product that they make. Fire on Friday. Just so y'all know, the co-host, which is Spectacular, couldn't make it today. He had things that he had to take care of, which is cool, But he couldn't make it on the show today, which is understandable. People got life to live and they got things to do. And hopefully next week all goes well. He'll be back home and we'll be back in the swing of both of us doing the show together. But I understand, in all honesty, it was a small chance I probably would have been here too. And I said, you know what? I'm probably wish later on that I did do it. Only because I really want to get in excuse me, y'all. I really wanted to get into something else. I think people are taking it lightly, and I figure this might be a good moment to do it on Fire on Fridays because, as y'all know, the war on Iran is currently in motion, and I say this all the time about sleeper cells, and we've already had two incidents in America where, in my opinion, it was a terroristic attack. People that believe in that type of stuff, Islamic, Muslim, whatever you want to call them, doing terroristic attacks on America where right on the soil and somebody got killed and somebody got murdered in two separate incidents. I don't remember the whole body count or the injuries and stuff. I had to back go. But some may say, that's just, it wasn't what they're saying it is, or it wasn't what they want. Understand this, and I say this all the time. Number one, make sure you're good. Make sure you're prepared, because at any moment, something can go down. And the thing that perplexes me is when we did Fire on Friday last time, when we were talking about, I think it was Virginia, and the stupid gun law that they made, and the way that the sheriff was trying to demonstrate it, and he even screwed it up. But even without that, when you look at these people in Virginia, right, these politicians know that there are terrorists in this country. Terrorists. Now, I'm not going to, there's another aspect, the way I look at this, but I'm just going to go with, we have terrorists right here in America, right? And they've already shown you that they're here because they've already did damage right here in this country, right here in America. These very same politicians let these people in this country, right? Just let them come across the border, didn't vet them, didn't do anything. They illegally crossed the border. They're right here in this country. And these same very politicians, knowing that these type of people, this is why you should not let nobody be in office, definitely if they're not born and raised and groomed America. Sorry. That's just the way I see it. Because you got in the state of Virginia, the governor, whoever it is, trying to limit your ability to defend yourself, even though they know full well that they got terrorists right here in this country. Lord, if something was to go down, where law enforcement going to be? Where are they going to be? I would love for somebody to tell me that, let's just say you in a clothing store, right? And some terrorists decide That clothing store look pretty business. That's where I'm gonna do my damage at. Where law enforcement gonna be? Who's gonna put a stop to that? Because law enforcement is not gonna be nowhere around. They're not even gonna have a clue until someone start making 911 calls. And at that point, what's the average response time? Response time 3 to 6 minutes, depending on where you live. In Philadelphia, is way longer than that. But let's just give it 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Now, bullets rain in seconds. Knives, even if somebody had a knife, they stabbing quickly. Before you know it, they done probably already murdered 3 to 4 people, 5 people, 10 people, who knows. The police, law enforcement is still on their way. People are getting shot, dying, and everything. Now, the people that are there around, then you wonder, where's the good guys or good women or good people with guns to put a stop to it? Where they at? Well, I'm going to tell you where they at if they're in Virginia. They're not in there. They're not around. Why? Because politicians like the one in Virginia and these ones that keep trying to overstep the boundary over the Constitution don't care about your life. So they're trying to limit your ability to protect yourself against these terrorists who are right here in this country and tyrannical. Now, let alone dealing with the politicians who are, in my opinion, are tyrannical, the ones that think that way. Well, who's going to defend you against them? And this is why when you start telling people you're limiting people's capacity when it comes to magazines, this is the other problem. Let's just say people act like it didn't happen. It can't happen. You got 3 terrorists right here in this country, and they come into attack and do damage. All of them don't care nothing about your gun rules, your gun laws, none of that stuff. They got 30 round magazines. Hey, they probably might even have a name on there, a drum that holds 100 rounds on each one of these. So if it's 3 of them with a drum that holds 100 rounds, because they don't care about your laws like you stupid idiot politicians keep saying, that's 300 rounds of ammunition that someone has that's getting ready to terrorize the community. Possible. But yet, the law always, only people going to be affected by these laws that they write is the citizens of the country. The honest, everyday, law-abiding citizens, not the criminals, not the terrorists. None of the other people are going to be affected by it. They can care less. Matter of fact, that gives them more ability to cause more damage because they know that the people are at the mercy of them because no one's going to have nothing to defend themselves with. But yet, the terrorists got it all. They're right here in the country. They've already shown that they're here. And then you got states like Virginia trying to tell you don't need no weapon. You don't need the access to the most powerful weapons possible. Why not? Y'all the ones that let the criminals in. Y'all the ones that let the illegals in. Y'all the ones that let all of these people in here. Now y'all want us to deal with them without any weapons. Without access to the most powerful weapons possible. Even though I don't agree with none of what they're saying, but we're going to entertain that one. Hey, Melian, how you doing? I hope I pronounced that right. So you got people that's in this country that don't like Americans, that don't like the American at all, looking for an opportunity to terrorize American citizens. And you got American politicians in office right now trying to limit your ability to defend yourself against them. So whose side are they really actually on? Ask yourself that. The politicians that talk this stuff, whose side are they really on? Are they on the American citizen side? Or are they on the criminal side? Or are they on the side of the terrorists? Because none of what they're saying and none of what they're doing is going to have an effect on any terrorist that is in this country or any criminal that is in this country. None. They don't even respect your border. That's why they came across it illegally. They don't respect your laws. That's why they came across it illegally. So what makes you think they're going to respect your gun laws? What makes you think that? What makes you think that they're going to respect that? They not. Hey, what's up now? How you doing? Gustovo. I don't even know how to pronounce that. I ain't going to sit there and try to butcher it up. So what makes you think they're going to respect your gun laws? They not. This is why I say, and this is why I have shows like Firearms Friday to help people to understand why the United States have the Constitution the way it is. And the reason why the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Because we right now have terrorists right here in the country, and you still got politicians trying to limit your ability. And here's the thing, they're not doing it. You don't see them walking around with no security. And you don't see that security, if they do have, if you don't see that security walking around with no weapons. So why is it these politicians think that their lives have more value than yours, and you're the one that voted them and put them in the position that they're in? They didn't get there on their own. They got there by the people's vote. And then when the people voted and put them in there, now they want to tell the people that my life is more important than your life. I need security to protect me, but I want to make sure y'all don't have access to no powerful weapons to protect yourself. But y'all voted for these people. We voted for these people. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not voting for no politician, anyone, and start talking that way. That is one of my number one things that's going to guarantee I'm not voting for you. If I see signs of you being a tyrannical, you will not get my vote. As soon as you start talking, limiting the guns, limiting weapons, limiting this to the people, limiting that to the people, you definitely will not get my vote, because I know at that moment you are tyrannical. Real talk, brother. It don't make sense. Stay strapped. And you're right. You need to. Every single day that you leave your house, you need to stop. And listen, and I'm not telling nobody to go out there and disobey the law, but the reality of it is that the laws and the politicians that are writing these laws don't give a damn about you. This is why the Constitution was written the way that it was written. It's the right to keep your bear arms. This is why you should know your neighbors, know who you're around, form your own kind of militia, and have people that you know on guard, that if something happens, y'all ready. Because they let these people in this country. It doesn't matter what side of the political part you stand on. They here in this country. And people are just walking around out and about their life, which is cool. You ain't supposed to be paranoid. And I agree, you ain't supposed to walk around paranoid, but you should walk around with a certain level of caution and be prepared just in case something happens. Something just transpired. Because here's the thing. I'd rather be in the presence of a whole bunch of good people with guns than be in the presence of any of somewhere I'm not. If I'm in a place and I know all good people got guns, I know they're not there to rob me and take advantage of me. They there to make sure that if somebody come with the smoke, they're gonna make sure that person get dealt with. So it doesn't bother me if I see somebody with a firearm. That don't make me nervous and scared until I look at their body language and see what they got bad intentions. I said, oh, they look like they about to do some dirt. That's different. I've seen people walk around. I've seen people with firearms all the time. I have no concern about that. They're not picking them up, pointing at people, aiming them at people. No. See, that's what people are getting mixed up at. But again, what if you're in circumstances where someone have every bad intentions and they looking for opportunity? Meanwhile, these politicians are literally trying to limit your ability to defend yourself from the very same people that they allowed over here. And still to this day is saying, oh, you don't need this. You don't need that. You got to listen to what they're saying. What do you mean I don't need that? Y'all let millions and millions of fighting age criminals over here, military age fighting criminals over here, and then you still trying to tell me that I don't need that. Whose side are you on? So when I listen to people let these politicians say this stuff and don't check them and still vote for them, something is wrong with you as an individual. You need to stop voting for these politicians that talk that way. Real talk. Make sure y'all hitting the like button. Make sure y'all hitting the subscribe button. Appreciate it very, very much. But again, stop voting for these politicians that talk that way. They telling you that they devalue your life when they tell you you don't need something when it comes to protecting your ability to protect yourself against government tyranny. They are devaluing your life. I don't care if they're Republican. I don't care if they're Democrat. I don't care about none of that. That don't matter at that point. What matters is when they start talking about limiting your ability to protect yourself from government tyranny, they are telling you that they are tyrannical and they want to limit your ability to protect yourself from them. Because now they're telling you that they're on the other side. They're not on your side. Because that don't make sense. If you're on the side of the American citizens, the last thing you will want is to put American citizens in harm's way by allowing all these criminals and all of these people that are out there doing destructive behavior from another country in this country and letting them get and bring them here to do so, unless you're on their side. You have to be on their side. You can't possibly be on America's side when you're letting them over here. They running amok all in the country, all through the cities and stuff. And then you want to then turn on the reverse side. You want to write a law and put something in place and sign it in order to make sure that American citizens don't have their right and their ability to have access to weapons to defend yourself against the very same psychopaths y'all put over here. Please make that make sense to me. What's up, Just For Real? How you doing? God bless you. Welcome in. Please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. I appreciate it very, very much. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. This is why I tell people, number one, make sure you're good. Make sure you have access to some good weapons. Make sure you're efficient with it. Make sure you know how to use it. Make sure you practice. And I'm not just talking about firearms. That's why I keep mentioning weapons. Yes, I'm talking about firearms along with that. But I'm going to tell you something. A good knife can be effective too to defend yourself just as much as a firearm. But my thing is this. I don't want nobody putting limits on what I have access to. I voted for you. You're not my boss. I'm yours. We voted for you, and now you want to basically put weapon sanctions on us and say we can't do this and we can't do that. Come on now, what world are you living in? This is America. Or a hammer. Yeah, a hammer can be a good weapon. And my point is that, yes, be efficient with it. Don't let these politicians try to limit your ability to protect yourself because your life should matter to you. Even though your life don't matter to them. And it don't matter to them. And so when you hear politicians talk this way, understand full well they don't care about you. They saying it right out of their mouth. They telling you right out of their mouth that your life don't mean nothing to them. Because they saying you don't need this. What do you mean I don't need this? What do you mean I don't need this? I want you to think about this. Let's just say we need to tear down a stone building, right? And they say, oh, this building is made of solid stone. It's been there for years, solid stone. And they say, okay, we got these 3 bulldozers over here, but you can't use those. We're going to give you a Mickey Mouse hammer to tear down that wall. That's all you're going to be able to use to tear down the walls, the Mickey Mouse hammer. Why? Because, even though we got the bulldozers, you don't need the bulldozer. We're going to let you, we're going to limit you to the hammer. Now, here's the crazy part. Let's just say you're the one hired the boss to do the job. You're his boss, right? He's not yours. You're his boss. But he's telling you the only way you're going to be able to tear that wall, you got to use the Mickey Mouse hammer. You can't use the bulldozer to tear it down. Why? You're going to look at him like, didn't I hire you? When did you become my boss to tell me what I can do? It's the same thing with the voting system, y'all. This is what I don't understand why people let these politicians make these decisions and they don't fight back. They're not your boss. They are elected officials. That's it. They were voted for by the people. And when you don't do what the people ask you to do, or when you start trying to limit the people's ability to defend themselves against you just in case you go tyrannical, I blame the people because you need to stop voting for them. You need to stop voting for them. So in the state of Virginia, California, Chicago, even Philadelphia to some extent, and some of these other major cities got some of the toughest, stupidest gun laws. Like, here's the thing. I'm going to give y'all New Jersey, for instance. I don't know how deep this goes. But in Jersey, they want to limit your ability to have certain rounds in your firearm, right? They want to limit how many rounds you can purchase and all this stuff. Why? What are y'all afraid of? This is what I understand about these politicians. Why do y'all even care what people have in general? Why are y'all making such a big deal out of it? What is it y'all doing criminal-wise that you're afraid that the people might find out and come looking for you and make citizens arrest? Because the only reason why you would even care is because you hoping that they don't catch what you doing. It doesn't even make sense why y'all even making this a topic of discussion. Oh, we want to stop criminals, all the shooting and murders on the street. Do y'all? This is the one that makes me laugh the most. Do y'all? Okay. I want you to go look at the people that have been arrested as felons. How many times they've been arrested as felons, and how many times they had firearms and got arrested as felons and still back out on the street and got multiple gun charges, multiple felon charges, and still end up having guns. So explain to me how the rule is affecting them. And I'll wait. Exactly. How did it stop the criminal? I wonder. I mean, y'all tell me. Maybe I'm off somewhere. And they say that, and then still let the criminals back out on the street. And let them back out on the street. My thing is, and they say, well, he had a rap sheet a mile long. How did he get a mile long? If you would have left him there in the jail prison to rot the first time, they wouldn't have never got back out to do it the second and third and fourth. They wouldn't have a mile long rap sheet. But the reason why they have a mile long rap sheet because y'all feel sorry for the criminals. Y'all feel more sorry for the criminals and have more compassion for the criminals than y'all do for the everyday citizen of America that get up and work and do everything. Let American citizens get caught up somehow. They'll drag them through the mud. But the criminal, no, let them go, man. They go. And I agree. And listen, they need to go. The unfortunate part in this country when it comes to that is that they say, oh, there's good Muslims and there's bad Muslims. First of all, if you ain't supposed to be in this country, you need to go. That's just my stance. I don't care how, and I'm not apologizing for that. You came over here legally, you need to go. I don't care if you're Muslim, non-Muslim. I don't care what. You broke the rule to get over here, you need to go back. That's it. The other thing is this, is that a lot of these people from these Muslim countries are radicalized. They hate America. They hate this country. And they don't like it because America is so blessed by God, they do not like this country. And I know some people are going to say, oh, what do you mean? Trust me when I tell you, America is blessed. And they don't like it. And they hate this country. So when you let somebody come over in this country that don't like this country, that hate it, what do you think going to come out of that? What do you think going to come out of that? Radicalized. Terrorism. Destruction. And I agree with you, Carol. I agree with you 100%. Democrats, because I'm gonna be honest with you, they're the ones who introduced them. They done teamed up with them. They done teamed up with the tyrannical, radicalized terrorists. And I'm gonna run this commercial for 30 seconds, and we'll be right back. And we're gonna get into that part of it and why I believe that.
Fellas, ladies, you looking for lotions? You looking for beard oils? But unfortunately, everything you get from mainstream got chemicals in it and they're probably killing you? No problem, we got you. Go check out my people from Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. That's Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. www.top2bottom, BOTTU, the U is for unique, M.com. Tell them I sent you.
Yeah. Tell them I sent you. And make sure y'all take advantage of that promo code OG Network 26. That's, excuse me, OG Network 26. And you get 15% off all your purchases of $35 and up on Top to Bottom hair and skincare products. Now, when I say this statement here, Democrats hate America, hate us, they're right. And I'm explaining to you why I know that this is true. Number one, the reason why they let all these illegal immigrants over here, and some say is because of voting, and I get that part. They wanted to make them into votes. And that part is so. But I want y'all to look at the people that are winning elections and what side of the spectrum they're on. Look at New York. Look at Minnesota. And what's the other one? It's one I'm missing. And these are foreigners from other countries that infiltrated into our political system, and we allow them. They don't like this country. And this is why we have to put a stop to it. And this is why you can't let them try to rewrite our Constitution. It needs to stay in its original form. The right to keep and bear arms against government tyranny. This is why it needs to stay that way. And this is the reason why we need to get them out of here. Yes, Chicago. And this is why you got to get these, and you got to stop voting for these Democrats. And because of listen, this is about firearms. And I rarely ever hear Republicans talking about limiting your ability to defend yourself against government with firearms and stuff like that. Most of this talk, probably 95% of the time, is Democrats talking this way. Because they are the terrorists. And they hate America. It's not, rarely do you find Republicans talk like, oh, we need to limit your ability to defend yourself. We need to limit that. They usually try to fight to keep the Constitution the way it is. It's Democrats that don't want it. That's why Philadelphia has a tough gun law, Democrat. That's why Chicago has tough gun laws, Democrat. That's why the state of New Jersey has tough gun laws, Democrat. That's why New York has tough gun laws, Democrat. That's why Los Angeles have tough gun laws, Democrat. That's why Atlanta, Chicago, might have mentioned Chicago, tough gun laws, Democrat. That's why Baltimore, Maryland has tough gun laws, Democrat. And this is the point that I'm trying to make. They hate this country. And trying to limit someone's ability to have access to the most powerful weapons possible to defend yourself against government tyranny. The part that they keep leaving out is shall not be infringed. And here's the thing. Even on some of the Republican sides, I don't like the language that they use. Because they keep referring it to it that is to defend yourself against criminals, and the Constitution has nothing to do with criminals. The United States Constitution in its original form has nothing to do with criminals. It has nothing to do with protecting yourself against criminals. The United States Constitution The right to keep and bear arms to protect yourself against government tyranny. That's it. So if it's against government tyranny, what in the world do government politicians think that they have the right to rewrite it to their benefit? Unless you have intentions of being tyrannical by disarming the citizens. Trying to anyway. I ain't gonna say you're gonna do it, but trying to. And this is the reason why they need to go. This is the reason why when you talk to on Firearms Friday, the thing I try to tell people, and my brother Fat Chatchler, is stop voting for these people that limit your ability to defend yourself against government tyranny. The other thing is make sure you have access to the best weapons possible. Stop letting these politicians make decisions on your life in a negative form. When something goes down, they're not going to be there to protect you. The law enforcement, as much as they would love to be there in the moment, they're not going to be there in the moment. The only person that's going to have to deal with whatever you're dealing with at the moment is going to be you and anybody that's near you at the moment that you're there. So again, if something goes down, if you and your family good and y'all got stuff around you to make sure y'all can protect yourself, you might not see what's coming, but the other person might see it and put a stop to it before you may have to do whatever you have to do. And this is where you have to stop letting these politicians try to limit your ability to protect yourself. The minute a politician say, oh, you don't need 30 rounds in your clip, he or she is tyrannical. You don't have to question it at that point. The minute a politician say, oh, you don't need an AR-15, you don't need an automatic weapon, you don't need a machine gun, you don't need this. The minute they say that stuff, do not vote for them. Look for someone else. And then look at their history of what the stuff that they tried to do if they was already in politics. Look at their political history when it comes around firearms. And that way you know for sure, nope, not vote for them. And this is why I stand on what I stand on. And that's real talk. This is why I stand on what I stand on. They're not concerned about your life. You have to be. The reason why you want to be, I say, make sure that you're good and the people around you are good, because as a United States citizen, you should have your own militia, just in case stuff go down. You should. I think you should have some weapons. And then here's the thing. These are my suggestions of weapons. I think everybody has different level of suggestive weapons they should have. I think you should have some good rifles, some good shotguns, and some good handguns. 3 things that I always think you should have. Hold on. What's up, Blake Smith? Yep, I agree. I agree with it. Let me explain something. And I agree to you. I agree with this statement 100%. I agree with it. If somebody say it's a conspiracy theory, no, it ain't. They was doing that as a test run to see how far they could push it. And I'm gonna be honest with you. There was a difference with the people in the cities and the people outside the city. I worked outside the cities. And I seen what the people outside the city said, we ain't doing that. Yeah, whatever. Once they realized that there was bull crap behind it, no, we ain't doing that. But inside the city, man, they had them hostage. The city of Philadelphia was the worst. That's why I realized at that point, I said, man, people talk their talk, but they're really not built like that. They don't really have it in them. It sounds good on the surface when ain't nothing going down and when ain't nothing happening. But they not really built like that. I remember on my job, they was threatening all that stuff. Oh, you don't get that, you don't get, jab. you're going to lose your job. I said, let me know when I'm fired, because I ain't doing it. I'm not doing none of that. I remember I got pulled over by the police because I was out when they said you weren't supposed to be driving. Kiss my behind. I'm still going to be out here. Guess what? They asked me where I was going. I said, none of your business where I'm going. Did I do something? Did I break any law? All right, then. Finish doing what you got to do, and I'm out. Why? Because I'm not going to let y'all, listen, I am not going to let y'all terrorize me. Y'all could do it to everybody else, but you're not going to do it to me. And I didn't disrespect the police. I was respectful, very. But you're not going to tell me I had to go in the house. I ain't no child. This is a free country, and it's going to remain that way. We voted for the people in office. They didn't put us in our position. We put them in theirs. They're not going to tell me what to do. And the reason why they're able to do it and feel like they can get away with it because the people are divided. And they keep the people divided by spewing all of the hate and rhetoric about race and all this other stuff. This is the reason why they're able to do it. And because we are, as human beings, the citizens of America, too busy arguing with each other about financial status, racial divide, and all this other stupid stuff. Democrat, Republican, liberal, non-liberal, all the silly stuff. This is why they're able to do it. But every time that they see the people start to unite, they find a way to disrupt that unity, because that's the thing that they're most afraid of, is the people really coming together for the right of the people. Because that's what our Constitution is. It's the right of the people. The power is the people, not government. But nowadays, government have overstepped their boundaries extremely too far. Way too far. And we sat back as citizens because we were working and doing whatever, trying to survive through our own life. We sat back and we allowed it to take place. I guarantee you that if you would go back to 100 years ago, you never see this. Yeah. And see this, and you know what? I want to stop here for a minute, because he said this is a good statement. They stop people from worshiping God. Now, here's what this is the biggest one for me, because you're not going to tell me that I can't worship God and we can't come together and worship God. See, this is where I have a problem with, and I can't speak to no other religion. I'm going to speak to the one that I believe in, which is Jesus, the relationship with Jesus Christ, the true and living God. You mean to tell me you're more afraid of the government than you are than the true living God who gives life and take life? You let the government tell you that you can't get together and worship your God, who is the true and living God, almighty, all powerful, the reason why we are all here. You let man scare you enough that you got out of your position and didn't do that. And they use the excuse of, well, they said you must abide by the laws of the land. Yeah, okay. Use your common sense. If the law of the land is hindering your worship, now here's the thing. In the United States of America, you're not supposed to do that. Wasn't there supposed to be a separation of church and state? So how is it that y'all let the state, who is supposed to be separated, they're not separated when the state tried to control you, it's okay. But when you try to tell the state, it's not. See how hypocritical that was? I hear them say, we're supposed to be separation of church and state. Great. Then why the state trying to tell the church they can't worship? And why did y'all obey them? This is why sometimes when people start talking, no, you not ready. You really ain't built like that. Jesus said, if you walk with me, you're going to be hated of all men. But yet you let the government fear you enough that you stop worshiping your God when you did that freely before. But if it was separation of church and state, why did they even feel like they had the authority to tell you? See, it was convenient for them. They did not care, because the Democratic Party is demonic. That's why I call them the Democrats. I don't call them Democrats. I call them Democrats because they work for Satan. And everything that around them, if you look at the attributes of Satan, I just want y'all to look at the attributes of Satan. The Bible describes Satan as being more subtle than any beast of the field, right? So the word sub in its meaning says what? Not easily detected, underneath, not easily detected. You know, like a subway train or subway. You may hear it, but sometimes you don't see it until it gets close. It's underneath. You can't really detect it very easily. And that other part, that subtile, this tile part, means crafty, sly, slick. Those type of meanings. So when you put that together, it means that it's crafty, sly, and it's slick, and it's corrupt, but it's settled. You don't see it. It's underneath. Those are the attributes of Satan. See, this what the Democrats do. They try to virtue signal. Like, it sounds good on the surface, like they really there for you. But the real craftiness behind it is destruction. And death and destruction. That's why everything around them is death and destruction. Here's my point. Most of the abortion and death and stuff like that, Democrat. Murders, killing and stealing, Democrat. All of the crime festing, Democrat. Law breaking, Democrat. Poverty, Democrat. Theft, mostly Democrat. Drugs, Democrat. All of the attributes of Satan surrounds them. So you don't have to figure out, are they demonic and do they work for Satan? Look at all of the attributes are right there. Because it's only so long you can hide that sin. Democrats is what I call them. It's only so long you can hide that before it manifests itself in physical form. It looks good on the surface. You can hide it in a while. It's like a drug addict. When they first start taking drugs, you don't really know. Like a crackhead. When we back in the day when you had crackheads, when they first started smoking crack, you really didn't know. But after a while, you didn't have to question it. What did you see? Oh, they're a crackhead. Why? Because that demon took its form. Now, the sin that you indulged in the most now has taken form. It's just like a woman that starts out to be, maybe start to sell her body and stuff. Initially, you don't notice it. But after a while, the skirts and stuff start to get higher. The clothes start to get tighter. The physical stuff start to be more revealed. Why? Because the spirit that's in behind it starts to take its form. And all of that stuff. But what ends up happening, this is exactly what happened. That's why when you saw Trump's accent, should be American citizens be first, what did the cult members do on the Democrat side? They all sat there. And they did not move. You know why? Because they're not for this country no more. They haven't been for this country in a long time. When he sat up there and said, do you think that the government should be, the United States, we should be for the citizens first? Y'all know what I'm trying to say. What did the Democrats do? They all sat there like this. Only cult people would do that. You all been elected by the people of America. And you did not stand for the very people that voted you in the positions that you are in right now? So what were you sitting for? Okay, you didn't stand. Well, let's go with that. You didn't stand. Because you did maybe, okay, let's say you did not like the mouth that it was coming out of. What was you sitting for? What statement was you making when you were sitting? Who was you sitting for? Who is your master? Who told you you better not stand up? None of y'all have an individual mind. Only two genders. Only two genders. And that's my hope. That's another one. Now they out there trying to make more genders. And this is why this again goes back to Firearms Friday. This is why you have to have protection and you have to have access, because these people got mental problems. And they're creating more people with mental problems. I'm listening. And I'm not, yeah, I am trying to be humorous. I would like to know who was the person that convinced somebody who was born with a penis or a vagina. They talked to you long enough to convince you that you can be, or you was a man. And they convinced you in the conversation that you could be a woman. Like, I want y'all to really think about this. Somebody lied to you to the level that they convinced you as a man that you can do certain things to yourself and you will be a woman. Never mind that womanhood starts in the womb. Whatever sex you're gonna be, it's already decided in the womb. You already at birth, whatever sex you're gonna be, male or female, done. But somewhere along the line, Satan lied to you to the point, and someone else, he used somebody to convince you that you was born in the wrong body. I want y'all to hear what I'm saying. You was born in the wrong body. So if you was born in the wrong body, where's the right body? Like where was the right body left at that you can go find and get so you can jump out of your body and go get the right body? And my thing is this. I know you can't do that. I'm just being funny. I'm trying to show you how stupid that sounds. Somebody convinced you that you can switch who you are and turn into something that you will never be. All for the sake of they can experiment on you. They can experiment on you. Because somebody got to go first to see if we can actually accomplish it. So we got to find somebody dumb enough that we can convince that they was born in the wrong body and coach them long enough that we convince them. And it ain't that complicated, really. It is. Mainly parents that are mentally unstable. And I'm going to be honest with you, I agree with that, but I also know that it's a lot more with the schools than it is with the parents. Because a lot of these kids spend just as much time in these schools as they do with their parents, and sometimes more. And some of these school teachers and stuff is indoctrinating these kids with this mess. And then you send them to a psychiatrist that was recommended by the school that teaching them the same mess. So it ain't all on the parent. A lot of times the parents don't even realize. Now, some parents are coaching this mess. Now, I've seen it, and I agree with you. I agree that there are some parents that are doing that. So this is not a disagreement. I'm just extending the truth to other truths. I agree. Because I've seen these parents entertain that stuff. But my thing is this. You're lying to your kid. Lying to him. There is no way you're going to be that. Nothing ever in life. Only thing you're going to do is look like you are. But you're never actually going to be. That's it. You're going to look like you are, but you're never going to be. And it's the same thing with a female. You may look like you're a dude, but you are never going to be one. And you're right. Hollywood. And what better way to act like something that you're not than the place that teaches everybody how to act? Hollywood. That's the truth. What better place to entertain than Hollywood, where all the actors are at, that can convince you that you can act like, if you act like a woman long enough, you're going to actually be one. Real talk. And don't get me wrong, I like to find humor and stuff, but it's, honestly speaking, what I'm talking is facts. It's real truth. But I just want you to understand, like, you got to be, somebody convinced you that you was born in the wrong body and you believed them. And at no point did you think, and I know it had to go through your head, like, they might be wrong. And listen, it's not that hard to do because if you watch some studies, right? If you watch certain studies, if I told y'all that, and I had this conversation earlier, if I told y'all that 2 times 4 is 75, everybody would say, I'm wrong, which I am. If I said 2 times 4 is 75, I'm flat out wrong. But I guarantee you that if I had 1,000 people say exactly what I'm saying, the handful of people that disagree with me will always, and at some point, will start to question whether they're wrong or not, even though they know they're right. Even though they know they're right. But because so many people has kept saying that I'm right, they'll start believing that I'm right. That's just human nature. They understand repetitively. You keep pushing it hard enough, eventually what was wrong will almost sound like it was right. And that's my point. So this is how they convince these kids that they could be something they want. They just keep pushing. Keep saying it. Keep pushing it. Keep saying it. Keep pushing it. Keep saying it. And next thing you know, they start believing it. That's how they got it with COVID. You still got people walking around with masks on. Because they believed it. Because they pushed it hard enough. They never let off the gas. They kept push, 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 push. Jab, 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 jab. All this stuff they kept pushing. So people started believing it to this point. And then people right now still believe. Still stuck there. They pushed it so much. I made money off all that lying. And there's still people out there stuck right there. Real talk. They still stuck right there. Because they rather believe the lie because it's more comfortable than to face the truth. That's it. They rather believe the lie than to face the truth. And the truth is, the reason why they pushed the jab so hard, because all of them had invested stock in all of these pharmaceutical companies. They wanted to drive the stock price up. So they pushed it hard, told you it was free. Meanwhile, Pfizer and other companies in that time period made billions and billions of dollars in profit. All because they pushed it long enough. Eventually, people started believing. Joyce, how you doing? God bless you. Welcome in. Welcome in. And I know we got a little bit off on what we was really talking about, which is the firearms. And the reason, but when you see all of this stuff happening around you, is more reason why you should load up. It's more reason why you should not let these politicians tell you what you can and cannot have. It's more reason why you should make sure you're good across the board. Make sure you have access. Make sure you, your family, those that you know, make sure y'all got the access to the best weapons possible. Stop letting these politicians dictate your safety. Because they're not concerned about your safety. They're only concerned about theirs. They're only concerned about their safety, not yours. They can care less about your safety. Because if they cared about your safety, and I'm talking about the Supreme Court, all the way down. Because if they all cared about your safety, this wouldn't even be a topic. They say, nope, we can't do nothing about that. It's already written. People have a right to protect themselves against government tyranny. Nope, we good. We can't talk about it. We can't do nothing with that. The only job the Supreme Court is supposed to do on point, soon as one of them try to do it, nope, can't do that. Nope, can't do that. Nope, can't do that. And the minute one of these politicians violate that, they come in and they strip them of their position and say, y'all going to have to revote for somebody else. That's how the Supreme Court is supposed to handle it. The minute any politician in these states, in these local places, say anything as it relates to limiting people's ability to protect themselves, the Supreme Court is supposed to step in and strip them of their position and say, y'all going to have a revote. Why? Because this person is tyrannical. They're trying to infringe on the right of the people. Our job is to protect the right of the people and make sure they have the right to keep and bear arms. They trying to limit that right. We can't touch that. No one can touch that. It's there for a reason. That one protects the rest of them. So you can't write a law that says they only can have 10 rounds. No, you can't write a law that says they can't have automatic weapons. No, you can't do none of that. Stop. We're telling you can't. And the minute you do it, we're going to have to call them. We're going to have to get the military to come in and remove you. Our military's job is to protect the citizens, just like the police. And when you have a politician that is writing laws that's hindering the citizens, they should be removed. But no one's doing nothing about it. And it's as simple as that. The United States government, the Supreme Court, should be dealing with this stuff the way it's supposed to be dealt with. No, you can't. Stop it. No, you can't. Stop it. California should have never got to the level where they at when it comes to gun laws. The Supreme Court sat back and let them do whatever they want to do. New Jersey should have never got there. New York should have never got there. Philadelphia, Chicago, and none of them should have never got to the level that they are when it comes to gun laws. There should not be none. That's what I'm saying. It should not be. No, you can't. You know how you deal with criminals? Put them away and keep them away. If you don't want felons to have firearms when they do vicious crime, put them away forever. You don't have to worry about them having firearms no more. But you don't go write a law that's going to hinder the citizens to protect themselves from the next group that comes along and decide to be crazy, like the government. Yeah, listen, Carol, I agree. But why are these people still in the positions that they are in and still thinking that they can write it? They're not doing the job on the level that it's supposed to be done. And that's where I agree with you, Carol, but the Supreme Court is not doing it on the level that they're supposed to be doing it. It shouldn't have never got this far. They sat back and let this stuff get out of hand. No state, locally, anything. No, they can have automatics. Yes, they can have silencers. Yes, they can have access to any weapon possible to defend themselves against government tyranny. We are the government. We can't do nothing about it. That's it. That's the right of the people. Stop it. Go pick something else to do. You can't touch this one. Because we are the government. And we don't have the right to tell the citizens that what they can use to protect themselves against us. If we go crazy. That's why you got to be careful who you vote for. Real talk. No, I agree with you, Carol. I agree. But my point is, they will but see, what these cities and stuff will do is, they'll still put this stuff into play and drag somebody through hell and make an example out of them to discourage the rest of the citizens from having their firearms. So if I go pull somebody over in the state of New Jersey who has a firearm legally, but not in New Jersey, they pull you over, lock you up, and drag you through all of these court dates and drag your life through stuff. Now your whole life's been disrupted all because you had a legal firearm. But it wasn't that way in their state. This is where the problem lies. Now you're caught up in some bull crap and you ain't did nothing. There's a guy in New York was making guns as a hobby. He didn't break no laws. He didn't violate nothing. Dragged him through 2 to 3 years of court because of it. Didn't murder nobody, didn't kill nobody, didn't do none of that. Wasn't even selling the guns illegally. And they dragged him through hell because of it. Where was the Supreme Court in that? And this is how they do it. Yeah, the Supreme Court can say what they want to say. But if nobody's holding these places accountable, this is what they do. And that's how they fear people from feeling like they have their rights are there. Yeah, I feel like the right is there, but they also feel like it's not. Why? Because they're afraid of what these people are going to do on the low end. And the Supreme Court and all of these other people are going to sit back and let them do it. They're not going to be there when your life fall apart. because they dragged you through this. That's the point that I was trying to make. I agree. Supreme Court said it. But they not obeying it. They still doing what they want to do because they're not afraid of the Supreme Court. But I guarantee you, if the United States military came in and dragged their behinds out of these offices and said you no longer have this job anymore because you violated the people's rights, which, in my opinion, should be done, the next person that get their job, guess what they won't do? Put their hands on that one. That's how you handle that. You strip them. Nope, you went too far. Nope, you went too far. But they're not protecting the people. They're protecting their own interests. But wait till they buy the stock, all the stock up in the gun industry, then they'll be promoting guns. But I ain't gonna hold y'all no longer. I'm getting ready to get up out of here. Appreciate y'all spending the time with me. Appreciate y'all to the show, coming to the show. Please hit the like button. Please hit the money. Please hit the subscribe button. Appreciate y'all very, very much. Carol, great conversation. God bless you. God bless you. Hold on. Yeah, and I agree. But hey, I recognize it, and that's why I try to always position myself in a way that I could benefit from them. Because it's one thing to hear what they say, it's another thing to watch what they're doing. But at the end of the day, make sure y'all protecting yourself. Make sure y'all good. Make sure your family good. And those family members that y'all have that take it for granted, put some pressure on them. They think it's a game, put some pressure on them. No, get your stuff together. Get it together. Stop playing. You done had 2 terroristic attacks already in America. Wasn't a massive, massive killing because it got stopped fast enough. But again, they were terrorists. Right here in the country in what we call sleeper cells. We've been warning these things for a minute now. And yet they are here. People that are radicalized right here in this country. So again, make sure y'all good. Get your rifles, get your shotguns, get your handguns, your 9s, your 10 mils, whatever it is you have. Make sure you're good. Clean your stuff out. Make sure your stuff is clean. Make sure it's oiled down. Make sure you practice. Make sure you have access to the best weapons possible. And the bigger thing is make sure y'all organize. Make sure you and your family members know what's going to happen and know what to do in the moment if it ever gets to that point. God forbid it ever does. But if it ever do, make sure y'all have a good, solid plan. Make sure y'all know what y'all going to do because you just never know. Don't take it for granted because it can happen. And with that said, I'm going to get up out of here. Every single one of y'all have a blessed, wonderful day. I'm out of here. Peace.
Fellas, ladies, you looking for lotions? You looking for beard oils? But unfortunately, everything you get from mainstream got chemicals in it and they're probably killing you? No problem, we got you. Go check out my people from Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. That's Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. www.top2bottom, BOTTU, the U is for unique, M.com. Tell them I sent you.